Warriors, happy Christmas Eve. All right, Warriors, so I'm going to break it down from 1903 all the way to 2020. If you don't know me, I'm Coach JB. I consider myself the top health and mindset coach in the world. What you believe in your heart, you think in your mind, will eventually become your words and become your reality. I say that every single day on my Coach JB podcast. You got to believe in yourself, Warriors. And what I'm going to teach you is how to open up your mind and awareness to the possibilities for you as a human being. That this is a theater. This is a theater, Warriors. And if you know the game, you can't be played. So I've been studying this for about 9 years. Specifically, I left corporate America, the banking system, 3 years ago. And I went on a mission to teach warriors all over the world how to open up their mind and awareness to a whole new paradigm. Right now, we're moving from the industrial age to the technical age. We're moving from the old archaic banking system to the quantum financial system. This is not some pie in the sky thing that your neighbor is trying to tell you that's a fraud. You're already moving there, Warriors. And as you look this way at a pandemic, there's a whole nother narrative happening this way. And unfortunately, you're going to get left behind because there's a biggest shift in generational wealth happening right now. Now, it doesn't matter about cryptocurrency or investing in cryptocurrency. What matters is that you understand the game. So as you grow into your future, you can teach yourself and your kids how to fish, right? So I'm going to break down for you, and hopefully this will make sense, all the way from 1903 to 2020. What do I mean by make sense? It'll resonate with you, and you'll understand why we're in the position that we're in, why we're looking this way at a pandemic, and there's a whole nother narrative happening this way, and it's why so many people are sheeple that just fall off the mountain with everybody else. And that's why 1% of the population owns 97% of the wealth. So before you do anything, make sure you like, subscribe, comment. I'm doing 1 to 2 YouTube videos a day, making sure I keep you guys informed. All right, so let's go ahead and jump right into it. Now I'm going to be jumping around, so there's no editing to my videos. So if I have to stop or things get stuck, just what it is, right? So I don't do any editing. These aren't fancy videos, just me throwing out some PowerPoints. I also have dyslexia, so some of my spelling may be incorrect. It is what it is. It's the information that matters, Warriors. So I'm going to take you through this journey. So this is our 3T Academy. It's all planned out. So a molded society. We make rash decisions in life, investments, relationships based on the news of today. When the news of today was the result of thousands of thoughts and actions and behaviors to mold the current physical paradigm. The news you see today is the next step to what they want for your future of tomorrow. Once you know this, you will see that everything is planned out and you can plan accordingly. Coach JV. So what I want you to understand within this message here is that, Warriors, this has been happening for a long time. This is nothing new. Now, history doesn't repeat itself. It often rhymes, okay? Now, when the richest people in the world have that much money, and when they own the media, they control the information, they can control your decisions. Everything we do, Warriors, is tracked. Everything you do is based on your actions and behaviors. Your marketing is, all you gotta do is go watch the documentary Social Dilemma. Now, the thing about it, Warriors, there's nothing to worry about, because if you know the system, you're not going to be part of the system, right? So you don't have to just walk off the bridge with everybody else. When someone tells you cryptocurrency is a fraud, or you see a news article, you don't immediately react like everybody did with the SEC investigation for Ripple this week, and a bunch of people sold their XRP. That's called being a weak investor, an uninformed investor. Okay, so I'm going to break it down from 1903 to 2020. Now, one thing I want to share with you guys, I share with my Warriors, I'm not asking you to believe a word I say. I'm asking you to learn how to fish. So if you want to comment down below, anything I do wrong or anything you can challenge me on, that's great. Say what you mean, but don't say it mean. Just throw some education out here. Let's help each other grow. Because if we come together as one ecosystem, as one consciousness, Warriors, we can rise together. But one thing that I'll share with you, Warriors, I think it was Jim Rohn that said this. If we gave $1 million to every single human being in the world, it would all end up in the same hands. The reason why it's important as you manage into the new quantum financial system and become the uncommon 1%, you have to change your subconscious mind around wealth and money. You have to have an abundant mind. Because it doesn't matter, Warriors, if I lose all my money, I'm still rich mentally. So let's go ahead and break this down. So in 1903, they started molding your education system. So the education system that your kids sit in, if they go to a public school, I went through a public school, and I can see so clearly how I was molded just to be a worker until I broke free from what I call the matrix. So in 1903, they created the General Education Board. Now there's some key names that you need to pay attention to. That was created by the Rockefeller Foundation. Who is John D. Rockefeller? John D. Rockefeller was an American business magnate. He was a philanthropist, and he was widely considered the wealthiest American of all time and the richest person in modern history. There's two names that you need to look at if you want to go down the rabbit hole: the Rockefellers and the Rothschilds. So in 1903, they created the General Education Board for your public education system. Okay? Now, Albert Einstein says, never confuse education with intelligence. Listen to what John D. Rockefeller was quoted saying. I don't want a nation of thinkers. I want a nation of workers. So I want you to think where you're at, where your parents were, and how your grandparents went through the society. Were you trained to be an entrepreneur? Do you own a business? Are you thriving? Are you the 1%? It's by design. You were trained to fall in line the way the school system was set up, the way the chairs are set up, the way the whole curriculum was set up to make sure that you don't step outside the line. That you were just to memorize and go take a test and just get through school, to go get another degree, to spend all your money to get a job for $30,000 a year, to work for somebody who probably doesn't even have a degree. Think about that. A lot of CEOs never graduated college. So that's important to understand. Now, I'm not talking about doctors or lawyers, people that have specialty focuses, right? I'm talking about the regular education system. But just because someone's a doctor or lawyer does not mean they're building generational wealth, because it's about understanding money and economics. The richest people in the world, the wealthy people, make their money work for them. They don't work for money. Because just because someone makes $300,000 a year does not mean they're rich. It's what you do with that money. It's God's money. It's abundance. So your education system was created to make you a worker, to make you a robot. In 1913, this is important, the creation of the Federal Reserve was created for safer and stable money supply. Now, the Federal Reserve, this was interesting. This is what got me to question everything. When I was in banking school, we learned how to scale banks from the ground up. That's how you graduated school. Okay, I used to ask, where does this money come from? They would say the Federal Reserve with a chuckle. They print the money, but where does that money come from? They print the money. And then I started to go deep into my research to understand, what does that mean that they're just printing money? So since 1971, which I'm going to break down, we've basically just been a printing machine, and you're feeling the effects right now. So in 1913, they created the Federal Reserve. The meeting was at Jekyll Island. Now, it's important to look up the Jekyll Island Club. Some of the notable members of this club, these names are going to come up throughout my presentation. Rockefeller, who created your education system, one of the richest people in the world. Another one of the wealthiest people in the world, J.P. Morgan. So Morgan and Rockefeller were both notable members of the Jekyll Island Club, where the Federal Reserve meeting happened, where they created the Federal Reserve. This is important to understand. Let's fast forward to 1971. So around 1943 to 1944, the Bretton Woods Standard was created, which was a gold-backed standard. Well, in 1971, there was two big things that are affecting us right now in our present moment. In January, the creation of the World Economic Forum by Klaus Schwab. So he created the World Economic Forum. He is highly connected to the elites in the world. The Rockefeller Foundation, we saw that name in the beginning, right? Connected to the World Economic Forum. So the World Economic Forum and the Rockefeller Foundation are connected. Now, this is going to come up in my presentation in the future. Ironically, in August of 1971, President Nixon removes us from the gold standard. So they removed the gold from the dollar, stopped backing it. So at this point, you could just print money. So we've been in a printing machine since 1971. So in 1996, MIT starts researching cryptocurrencies, okay? Now, it feels like cryptocurrencies just came out, right? Because you haven't been in the cryptocurrency space. It's something new to you. You've been told it's a fraud. But warriors, this has been planned out for a long time. MIT was already researching cryptocurrencies in 1996. I'm going to show you the document. If you were to click right here, you can actually take courses at MIT around blockchain and cryptocurrency. So let's take a quick look. Okay, this is the document from the PDF document, Time Lock, Puzzle, and Time Release Cryptos. So this was in March 1996, MIT Laboratory in Computer Science. So you can find this by looking up Time Locked, Puzzle, and Time Release Cryptos. It'd be really neat for you to read through this. It'll show you what's going on. They were already working on cryptocurrencies in 1996. It's really interesting. We thought the cryptocurrency just came out in 2009, right? Or maybe you didn't know that. Bitcoin came out in 2009. So think about that, warriors. They're saying cryptocurrency is a fraud, but MIT was already working on cryptocurrencies in 1996. Okay, so now we got 1903, the education system was created to make you a robot and a worker. In 1913, the Federal Reserve was created and the World Economic Forum. Okay, in 1996, they were already working on cryptocurrency. Now remember what happened after this. We had the dot-com boom and the dot-com crash. Then, in between here and where I'm going next, we had September 11th. September 11th was a big change for all of us. You remember September 11th? So we basically went from having a certain amount of freedom to everything being monitored. You used to be able to walk up to the gate and greet your family members at an airport, and now you go through metal detectors. Edward Snowden, do you remember that? They start monitoring all our stuff. So a little bit of our freedom was taken away, but that was for our protection against terrorism. Okay, so I'm not going to go deep into that. But now 2008 to 2009, we had a massive house market crash. Now I want you to think about something for just a second and start to think, is this planned out? It is. No income stated loans and interest only loans. Who in their right mind, in the government, in the OCC, the SEC, all these acronyms, would allow no income stated loans and interest only loans? People that had no jobs or small businesses were buying $1 million homes and living in them interest only. Who in their right mind would allow that? Think about that. You think that wasn't done on purpose? So we had a massive housing market crash, and ironically, Bitcoin pops on the scene in 2009. So Bitcoin emerges as a disruptor. And right away, the narrative starts that Bitcoin's a fraud. Bitcoin goes through this big bull run, has a massive pump, and then a massive dump. And then the whole Bitcoin narrative starts. A bunch of Bitcoin millionaires were created, okay, throughout these times up until 2020. But the narrative was that Bitcoin's a fraud, cryptocurrency's a fraud. Only criminals use cryptocurrency. Okay. In 2007, here's an example. Jamie Dimon, the name JP Morgan. Do you remember the name JP Morgan? The JP Morgan, the Morgan family was at Jekyll Island, some of the richest people in the world, connected to the Rothschilds. Okay, so Jamie Dimon is the CEO of Chase Bank, which is JP Morgan, excuse me. JP Morgan, Jamie Dimon, took a shot at saying that cryptocurrency is a fraud. It's not the real thing. Eventually it will be closed, Dimon said Tuesday. So he said that cryptocurrency is a fraud. He's also quoted saying, "You're stupid if you try or buy cryptocurrency or trade cryptocurrency." And he also shared that if any of his people in his platform working for his bank traded it, they would be fired. So this is Jamie Dimon in 2017. Okay? 2017, this is important, Executive Order 13772. So this is reported Donald J. Trump, Executive Order 13772, the core principles for regulating the United States financial system. So let's go ahead and take a look at this as well. Okay, so I want to share with you something because we had a big news article around SEC was suing Ripple, right? Now remember, Tesla was sued by the SEC, Amazon was sued by the SEC. Now you want to understand too that about 95% of Ripple's business is outside of America. Okay, it's political theater, and I'm going to go a little bit deeper into that. Okay, so this is Executive Order 13772. Okay, this is the financial systems to create economic opportunity, non-bank financials, fintech, financial technology. So this is breaking down in 2017 our move into the fintech space, which to include cryptocurrency. No, it doesn't include cryptocurrency, John. You can't prove that. Okay, let's take a look. Let's go to page 194 and see which companies are listed here. Okay, so page 194. So if you know cryptocurrency, Ledger X. Okay, check this out. There's JP Morgan again, everywhere. Okay, PayPal. PayPal now does cryptocurrency. Whoa, there they are, Ripple. So think about this, warriors. This is 2017. Ripple's listed here. PayPal is listed here. JP Morgan's listed here. Ledger is listed here. Think about this, warriors. Think about this. Goldman Sachs, Google, all these large companies. But you think because once SEC article comes out that Ripple is done and everybody dumps their bags, it's a political theater. It's all planned out. Okay, let's go a little bit deeper. So that's 2017. Then we go to 2019. The founding CEO of PayPal Holdings, Bill Harris, joined an ever-growing list of Bitcoin critics recently with a post describing the cryptocurrencies as scam. Listen to this. And a colossal pump and dump scheme. I'm tired of saying, be careful, it's speculative. Then, be careful, it's gambling. Then, be careful, it's a bubble. Okay, I'll say it. Bitcoin is a scam, he wrote. That's the PayPal CEO. 2020. JP Morgan. Do you guys remember? JP Morgan said that cryptocurrency is a fraud in 2017. Well, ironically, now in 2020, they have their own JPM coin, their own cryptocurrency. They bank Coinbase, one of the top cryptocurrency platforms in the world, and they built their own blockchain, inviting other cryptocurrencies to build on their blockchain. But I thought Jamie Dimon said from JP Morgan that it's a fraud. You just heard the quote from PayPal a year ago allows their users to buy and sell cryptocurrency on their platform, Bitcoin specifically. Interesting. So a year ago, PayPal, he said, it's a fraud, it's going to crash. Do you think a company like PayPal makes that big of a change in their decision within 1 year? These are massive corporations. Okay? So now we had the SEC announce this lawsuit against Ripple. It's all political theater, warriors. So watch this. The lawsuit is from action 7 years ago. 7 years ago. The action happened 7 years ago, warriors, and Jay Clayton, the chairman of the SEC, launches a lawsuit on Tuesday, December 22nd. Now, I want to pause for a moment. If you're still here, you're a warrior. We're 16 minutes in. You're a true warrior. I just want to say that. If you're still here, comment Warriors Rise. You are a true warrior. You are the uncommon 1%. Okay, Jay Clayton was set to leave the SEC chair on December 2020. Think about that. Jay Clayton, right after he makes the announcement on Tuesday, Jay Clayton decides to announce he's leaving yesterday, December 23rd, one day after announcing the SEC is suing Ripple. And the beautiful thing is, the political theater, crypto-friendly Alad Rawson has been named the chairman of the U.S. Securities Exchange Commission. So Jay Clayton announces he's suing Ripple. The SEC is suing Ripple. He's not. The SEC is. The next day, he announces his departure when he was supposed to leave at the end of the month, and then crypto-friendly Alad Rawson has been named chairman of the U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission. Now, this is what happened, warriors. This is the political theater. This is what they do. They mess with the weak investors. So this is a snapshot of the 24th. It looked just like this when we got the SEC news. As soon as we got the SEC news, all the weak investors down here started dumping their XRP. Well, do you notice something? 28 million balance and above, pumped. The 0.01%, the elites pumped their portfolios. Why would they put more money into XRP? Why would I put more money into my XRP? I'm not in the top 0.1%, but I got some big bags of XRP. Why would someone like me pump when everybody else is dumping? Because it's a narrative, warriors. This is what the 99% do. This is what the 1% do. Everything is planned out. Okay, so let's walk through this. Now, the World Economic Forum. Do you remember who started it? Klaus Schwab in 1971, who is connected to the Rockefellers. Remember that? Rockefeller Foundation. They've been talking about the Great Reset. I'd highly recommend you go watch my YouTube videos on the Great Reset. The Great Reset is sharing with you that you will own nothing in 2030, that you will be happy with that as well, that by 2050 we'll be at zero carbon, which is the Green Deal right here. The Global Future Council, so now this is important too, okay? So the SEC is suing Ripple, right? Ripple is named in the Executive Order 13772 by Donald Trump in 2017. Ripple's company was in there. They're being sued by the SEC. But you look at the Global Future Council of Cryptocurrencies in the World Economic Forum, Brad Garlinghouse sits on the committee. He is the chief executive officer of Ripple. So Brad Garlinghouse sits on the cryptocurrency committee for the World Economic Forum that was created by Klaus Schwab in 1971. Warriors, are you connecting the dots now? This is all planned out. Okay. What is the Green Deal? I want to break this down for you guys. So XRP is an environmentally. This is why I bought more. Because all the weak investors, they know nothing about the project, or maybe they do, but they have weak hands, right? They go running when one bit of news comes. That's how you lose your money, warriors. XRP is environmental sustainability. As a digital asset itself, XRP was designed with sustainability in mind. It is inherently green currency. All XRP is already in existence, meaning no unsustainable mining practices or additional energy is ever required to produce more. Unlike all the detached assets like Bitcoin and Ethereum. I'm not going to read through all that. But warriors, we are heading into the new Green Deal. We are heading into the new quantum financial system. And as you look this way at a pandemic, they are building out the infrastructure, warriors. That's why the biggest shift in generational wealth is happening. That's why my hands didn't shake. That's why I didn't flinch when I saw the SEC was suing Ripple. What I saw was an opportunity to buy more. I held strong and I accumulated, warriors. If you know the game, you can't be played. If everybody knew the game, everybody would be the 1%. So it's time to stop listening to your neighbor. It's time to stop listening to your buddy at the poker table that's telling you cryptocurrency is a fraud. You're going to get left behind, warriors. Now, if it's not about cryptocurrency, that's fine. But I'll tell you what, your US dollar is deflating dramatically. If you don't want to take my word for it, research people like Robert Kiyosaki. Look what Warren Buffett's doing. Closed out of bank stocks. Went into Bank of America, increased his position by 10%. Ripple is connected to Bank of America. He closed out of most bank stocks, but went up in a Bank of America. Donald Trump allowed Warren Buffett to take American Express into China. Warren Buffett buying up stocks in gold mines. Okay, Robert Kiyosaki, Bitcoin. Michael Saylor, MicroStrategies, Bitcoin. PayPal went from saying it's a fraud to buying up 70% of the Bitcoin supply. Think about that, warriors. JP Morgan said it was a fraud. Now in 2020, they're super bullish on cryptocurrency and Bitcoin. Citibank gives out huge predictions for Bitcoin. So warriors, it's time for you to understand the game. So my name is Coach JV. I can help you with this. The first step is to join our free Facebook group down below. So if you made it this far, click the Facebook group. You're going to get an email. Make sure you check your email. If you want to jump right into the Academy, what do we do in the Academy? I actually show my exact cryptocurrency portfolio. Not a financial advisor, none of its financial advice. I have full transparency. We do a cryptocurrency call every single week talking about new projects and what's happening within the cryptocurrency space. You're part of a Discord with almost close to 300 people now sharing information, people much smarter than me. I have a technical analysis team. I also am a common sense person, as you can see. I invest based on common sense and understanding the company and the projects and my banking background in multiple companies. So if you want the blueprint, if you're looking for support and guidance, you can join our academy right now. But as I always say, warriors rise and let's go. Don't get left behind, warriors.